And here we are again. Happy Sunday. Bum bum bum. So it's Sunday and I wanted to talk about Samuel Little. Hi, Secure Girl. So I thought I would invite everybody in, just have a chat. You can talk about anything you want. I'm not going to go, you must talk about Samuel. However, that's the main aim of the stream. Hey, White Tiger. How you doing? Long time no see. Haven't spoken to you for ages. It's been hours. So obviously we've got a lot of victims in the offing with Samuel's case, and I would have sort of casted doubts on the amount of victims he's had. But they've already confirmed 50, so I don't know why he would lie, really. Hiya, Ellen. It is a very interesting case, yes. So because it's very interesting, it's so, I don't know how you've got an environment where you have people like Chris Watts getting loads of attention. Hello. Thank you, my darling. My hubby's fixing my vape for me. Thank you, Leaping Lizard. Hi. How people like Chris Watts are getting so much attention when this gentleman murdered, murdered a lot of people. Obviously, it's not just come to light. It has just come to light in the last few years, I think. Before that, he was thought to have murdered 3. But it's strange how somebody from a different background. I know that Samuel didn't annihilate his family, but I think he killed 2 girlfriends. Hi, Debbie. No, I haven't seen you. I hope you're doing well as well. Haven't seen you for a very long time. So it's nice to see you on this Sunday. So yes, it's a strange one, but what I'm going to do is, if anybody wants to call in and have a chat, I'm going to put the link up. If anybody wants to call in about Samuel, give me 2 seconds. Now what I'm going to put up is the direct link to the Zoom meeting. Don't fret if you're considering trolling, because I'll just kick you back, kick you straight out. However, if you want to call in and chat, you can do. I don't know how. I think we're getting there, Leaping Lizard. People need to know about him because his case needs to be looked at, because he's so affable and just so fluffy and nice that you would never know. Even when he was young, he had a gentle face and he was lovely and funny looking, and like as in kind and generous and sweet looking, and you know, he's like the human equivalent of a Venus flytrap. He should be better known than he is, especially when there could be, you know, predators like him still. So how is everybody? Let's talk about how you are. Loads of personality, yeah. He's like, you know, he is like at the minute he's like an old charismatic grandpa who the grandchildren love and would sit on his knee and he'd tell them stories, and you know, and he talks about them like he's got fond memories of them, and I suppose to him they are, but he murdered them. He's very strange. So I look forward to seeing what sort of any information on him coming out, and any books on him coming out. Let's hope they're better than Letters from Christopher. So tell me about you guys. What have you been up to? Doing well. Cannot believe how tame he seems. Yeah, he's just seems like he's just so kind, and I think a lot of people will still say, I can't believe he did that. He just seems so nice. And people seem nice all the time. Ted Bundy seemed nice, but they're not nice. And I think, hello, Evie. Hello. Here's my beloved coming up the stairs. Hello, Evie, Scorpio. I'm hoping Mandy will pop in. If you see Mandy Hall anywhere today, wish her happy birthday. She kept it quiet. Yeah, he just seems like he's really affable, and that it's disturbing, but I think a lot of people say that with Chris Watts, he doesn't seem like he could do it. Well, what do we know about, could he seem like, is it because he's not carrying a hatchet? Is it because he doesn't have a hockey mask on? What is it that makes you think that he can't do it? Let's hope that Cadel doesn't write any more so-called books. Well, it's unlikely she'll get the opportunity again. I think it's from the excerpts I've read, but she'll get her exposure and she'll make some money. He was acquitted of a murder. Witnesses not reliable. Early doors. Yeah, Evie, do you want to come on and talk about this case, because I know you know a lot about it? Do you fancy coming on for a chat? You don't have to go on camera, but the link is there if you want to come through Zoom, or just your desktop or your laptop or your phone. Yoo-hoo, April Jane, 72. You might have noticed I'm not me saying bouncy self, but I'll explain more about that later. Highlight of life. You come from a land down under. Sorry, I bet you've never heard that before. Thank you, my darling. See you later, alligator. So, hello, Gingerlocks mum, you alright? You want to know so much more about Samuel before he passes away. He's getting up there in age, he is. Oi, oi, J-Bells. Sadly, these individuals are actually very intelligent and know how to gain trust, yeah? He just seems like a sweetheart, and I think that's just because he's acted that way his whole life. That's just how he is now. It's very dangerous. But I think we need to learn that people don't, you know, there's a reason that for the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. That works both ways. How is everybody? Let's have a look. J-Buzz is in, hello, Gingerlocks mum. Okay, getting ready for the Philadelphia Eagles football game. Yes, I saw your Facebook post earlier. Fly, Eagles, fly. Just on your behalf. I've got no idea who they are. I don't really care about it, but I'll be supportive for you. You have an Australian YouTuber visiting you right now, so you've got to take them to watch the football. Watch a bit of American football. Very good. I asked Evie if she wants to college. She's got, he was acquitted of murder. If she went to college, she's gone very quiet. I'm hoping she's thinking about it. So, yes, the link is in the chat. If you want to call in, just let me know and I'll put the link back out. Just it's the direct link to the meeting. Hi, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mandy. Happy birthday to you. You would, but you're trying to walk the dog and walk until... Right, that's fair enough. Oh, a late Sunday dinner. So your mum's making your Sunday dinner. I see. And you know where your bread's buttered, don't you? Oh, you're still getting over the flu. Yeah, mine was more... I had a bit of lurgy, but mine's more depression at the minute. I'm not been too well. But I don't want any fuss. I just thought I would let you know. Because the reason that I'm telling people is not to garner sympathy, because I hate that. I hate it. But it's because I think it helps to tell other people that you've got similar problems to them if they are going through the same thing. So who are we chatting about today? Samuel Little. Apparently murdered 93 women, a variety of races. And they have confirmed 50 and they're still looking for the rest. Do I want some Yorkshire pudding? No, I've just had a lamb din-dins. We had lamb and mint sauce and mash. Yeah, Maddie, well, we get wrong for exposing you, Maddie, but I think it's important to wish you happy birthday because we all know you and we all love you. So, yeah, it does, Evie, doesn't it, when you're feeling rotten? I think sometimes it works the other way around as well. If you're really, like, depressed, because I didn't realise I had, like, depression or a stress and anxiety going on. I thought I had flu because my legs weren't working properly. They were aching a lot, and I just thought I was coming down with the flu, or some sort of cold. Probably most likely some sort of cold, because people very actually rarely get flu. But it was depression. It was really strange. I was like, how can I tell what's what now? Oh, I'm so desperate for potatoes, meat and gravy. It was delicious. I'm going to have to get some sort of courier system, J Bells, for you, I think, on Sundays. I'm going to have to get you some sort of beaming system like they've got on Star Trek, where I just put the food in the hatch and it just beams to you. Yeah, that's good. Well, that's fine, but I don't like the fuss, but I'm just very open about it. So I'm still just me, and I'm in my safe space at the minute, like talking to you, oddly, on the internet. How weird is that? But it's not too people-y. I'm not up close to anybody. I'm not, like, overcrowded. There can be as many people in here as they want, and nobody's here. Like... So it's a lot easier to deal with, talking to people through devices. So I am, but Samuel, yes, he should be a much more well-known name, but isn't, and I don't know why. He has been, he is prolific. I know, teleporting Deliveroo. That I think if we can find a scientist somewhere, J Bells, and get cracking on with that, because that would just that's just honey, baby. Keep your power panties. I want teleports. No stress is no fun. But it is giving us an opportunity to throw myself into some other things. I'm not well at the moment, but I'm trying to keep my creative hand in. So it's given us the opportunity to work on other things that I'm excited about. Well, sort of as excited as I can get. But I'm thinking, right, I've set a schedule for when I'm going to get stuff done. And if it doesn't get done immediately, it doesn't matter, as long as it gets done within a time scale. So you have those problems too. Yeah. It seems like a lot of us, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it is. A lot of us are affected, and sometimes, because I've got it all the time, but it varies. You're working on I want to go on a time machine back to 1987 when I had a lovely waist. I think I'd have to go back to the day I was born for that. I was 6 pounds 3 ounces that day. Things have changed. I think your finger weighs more than that now. We've still got a waist. I've still got a waist. I just can't see it. So there's somewhere. Underneath the Yorkshire pudding and Jaffa cakes and Ironbrew. Yes, please. Thank you, Ginger Lock, sweetheart. Leave your touch DNA on the like button. Leave a like. Likey McLikeyson. How sinister is that looking? Look at that, how sinister. I have a sinister finger. Who'd have thought? Anyway, I'll stop freaking you out now. Freaking myself out. And a hairless chin. Yeah, I think that's a middle-aged lady thing. Absolutely smash that like button. I'm with you, cuz. You weighed 40 ounces. Hi, say glass and shells. You're listening but hiding your phone from the rain. It's still yeah, it was here. I've just been out in it and it was absolutely shocking. You can relate. I've been quiet when watching. Yeah. Well, that's it. You don't have to. Nobody's like forcing you to come on, but it's sometimes nice to listen. I do that with Carolyn's show. I do it with Lisa's, with Kim's, with Leaping Lizards videos as well. Just have a listen. Sometimes I don't comment, but I do like them. Like click like on them, and also just listen because they're nice. I feel like I'm at home. I poked you in the eye. Sorry, you acting like the Domino's pizza tracker. Anybody ordered a Domino's pizza and had that pizza tracker face thing on their phone? And if you touch the eye, it goes, ow, you nearly had my eye out. And I'm like, just for fun. Thank you very much. We're talking about Samuel Little, Gingerlock's mom, or a Domino's pizza tracker. Take your pick. Pick a subject. Hello, Mr. Shannonite. Yes, fashionably late again. Hello, sir. So, but yes, it's. I don't believe how nobody. I mean, I knew about him and I'd heard about his paintings, but I didn't realise his victim count was quite so high. I would say it doesn't seem like he would lie, but he doesn't seem like he would murder either. I did not know that. I order on the computer. Yeah, it's on the computer as well. And it's like a little pizza shaped face, and it comes up and it blinks, blink, blink, and talks to you and lets you know what stage your order's at. You still call for a pizza order. Thank you very much, say Glass and Shells. You get but if you order by phone or if you order by desktop and you put the pizza tracker on, you can actually poke it in the eye here, and it goes. If you put it on your phone, you can poke it in the eye. You can't on the computer. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with calling your pizza order in if you're familiar. Hi, Just Ellie. It's Just Ellie, everyone. Say hi. So, yes, he's got a high body count. I would talk about Watsy Poos. We can if you want to. But I think it's pretty much been covered at this point. And I think we can talk about it forever because I don't think we'll really know what the crack is. I should call the video What's in the title, shouldn't I? Because that's a bit strange. People have like said don't make videos about what's, putting what's in the title recently. It's like a different world, YouTube now. Sea Glass and Seashells. She's stripes like an inmate. I am. I've got my prison uniform on. See, I'm not really ill. I'm in jail. Broadcasting to you from Cell Block H. Keeping an eye out for vinegar tits. Never heard of him either. Just had a quick Google to see if you. Right. Yeah, exactly. For some reason, Samuel's been really downplayed, and I don't understand why. There is a study about African American or just African origin serial killers, and there was a theory that the FBI had a preconceived notion that only white men were serial killers, and because of that incorrect profiling, where there was still lots to learn, that one and including the one with where they believe that people kill within their own race, which has been thrown out of the window by a few people now, including Israel Keys. But they had, because of that, people didn't find them fast enough. Hi, Carol Lucy. Anything with what's in it grabs clicks. Yeah, it does. Sad to say. Oh my God, you're a wrench. Yes, you are. Don't let the power go to your head now, Carol Lucy. Hi, Mrs. Mick Jagger. Long time no see. Used to work in a deli. Freaking sick of that deprived, vile man. I'm thinking you're talking about Chris Watts. Yes. Yeah, I know Leaping Lizard, I nearly did as well. I was pretty close. Israel Keys, now there's a man who really enjoyed his work. Yes, he's very disturbing. He's Anyway, I'll talk about Israel at another time. But for Samuel, he's so charismatic because he is literally charismatic. And anybody's character personality is charismatic, but it's just so lovely to talk to. Like, he's just chatting away to the agent there like he's his best friend. You're terrified. Don't be terrified. Nothing to be scared of. It just means you can kick people out if they test you, Carol. Yes, happy birthday, Mandy. Happy birthday, Mandy. Mandy, it's your day. Yeah, this'll give you a giggle. I took the Samuel Little videos from the FBI site, so the public information, and somebody copyright claimed the video because it had one of the ones that they had used, and I'm like, this isn't yours, mate. The only problem with YouTube is, though, they'll now pass it to the person who's made the copyright claim to decide if that copyright claim is valid. How does that work? So that'll be interesting. Samuel Little's attention to detail so many years later is amazing. Yes, it is. And his memory's gone because he's very elderly now. Well, not very elderly, but he is elderly. And he just talks about them like he saw them last week. And he remembers, you know, their build, their faces, when the paintings are really quite accurate. And they've found women, identified women from his paintings. Israel Keys was very interesting, but totally deranged chap. Yeah. Do you know the name of that podcast, Sakura Girl? On Israel Keys? Just so everybody knows. See if you can remember. He worked about a block from where Little was arrested. Wow, just Ellie, you might have done. Hiya, Chrissy J. Hello, my darling. How are you? Miss you. Yes, of course you can, Sakura Girl. Absolutely. Hiya, Eva. So the podcast about Israel Keys, Sakura Girl is about to share, so go and check that out. It comes recommended by Sakura Girl if you're interested. Have they found more of his victims? I don't think he's making it up, no. They've confirmed 50. He's charged with 3 life sentences for killing 3 girls initially. They've confirmed 50 of his victims, so I don't know why he would lie about the rest. Surely you'd think 50 would be enough. Thank you, Sakura Girl. So, that's basically what's... Not what. I want to stop saying what's because every time I say what's now, it becomes a pun in my head. It's really bad. Do you think he has dementia? People tend to have vivid memories of the past, but not so much the present. I don't know if it's dementia as yet. I think there's concerns that it might turn into dementia as people get older. But quite frankly, I can remember stuff from years ago with more clarity than I can yesterday. Sometimes, I don't know about you. I remember, like, if I smell something or if I hear a song, especially if I hear a song, or if the weather's a certain way, or if you happen to pass by somewhere you used to hang around, like, memories will come back to you really strongly. There you go. It's called True Crime Bullshit. There you are. Fabulous. So, those kind of memories are really strong, but when you've got... Like, when you're older, I think what happens with dementia is you go to random places in your history, but you can't control it, obviously. He seems pretty lucid, yes. I would concur with that. I can't remember what I did last week. No, me neither, Mandy. I'm terrible. That's good. Well, I like that one. Well, we'll have a look at that one. I also like the Cold podcast that's had a new episode out recently, the one about Susan Powell. So that one has a new episode out for anybody who's been following. Anybody who hasn't, please do feel free to listen to it from the beginning. Comes highly recommended. Yeah, long-term memory is the last to go. That'll be why I can still remember what I did when I was 14, but not yesterday. Oh, thank you, Leaping Lizard. So I don't know if he has dementia, but I think it is a concern with him getting older, and they want to try and hello, Bella Mac. Hello. I had like a Mrs. Doubtfire moment there, didn't I? It's so sad that many can disappear and not be missed. Yes, it is. That's one of the things that I do the Jane Doe's for, because I think it's really sad. It's really sad that these people just go missing. It's like they're dispensable. They're not. Loving the monochrome. Thank you. Rocking the monochrome. I've got a little bit of grey / blue in the background. I thought I would... Leaping Lizard says I look like I've escaped. Well, she didn't say that, but that was the implication. But I'm actually still in jail. I'm broadcasting from my cell. Waiting for people to bring me, not Gatorade, the cheap one, Powerade. Waiting for people to bring me Powerade, and on demand I will make things up. So, had anybody heard about Samuel Little until recently? Thank you, Carol Lucy. Look at you wearing your new mod shoes in. Love it. So I better move along now. She who must be obeyed is calling for my company. Yes, you do right, Mr. Shannonite. See you later, sweetheart. That trans door is identified as a 30-year-old cold case DNA. Yep. Is it a trans door? It would be her if they identified as female. It's confusing though. Pronouns are confusing with trans people when you first encounter them, but once you're used to them, as I am from my life, then you do get used to it. You hadn't heard of him, not until I made that video, right? So isn't that strange though, that somebody's murdered possibly more than 50 people, at least 50 people, and it's not out there? There you go. Diana Case Solved is another excellent podcast series. Natalie Wood in this season, Princess Diana. Oh, we're getting into conspiracy theory territory there a little bit, Sakura Girl, or not? I know you'll be honest. Yeah, you'd heard of him. I'd heard of him because I'd heard about these paintings. Because I knew that there was somebody painting the victims. For anybody who saw the Cookie Monster video about Marty Harrison, he also drew, and his pictures are a bit naughty. But you can see some of them online. They have sort of things like oversized genitalia and things in them, so I think that might be it, Carol, unfortunately. But I think, how does that work, you know? Of the Rodney Alcala photos, yeah. He's an interesting person, and I think it would be nice to have somebody study him and write something about him. Not because I feel... I'm not good about discrimination when it comes to the crimes that he's committed, because he's a very, very bad person. But what I'm worried about is that the research will be lost because people are too dismissive, and I think that we've paid for that in the past, and I think if we want to find out more about it, then we need to study it. No conspiracies. That's good. I don't mind a bit of conspiracy theory. I like looking at them because I find them silly. So I once saw one about stickers on mailboxes, and your colour of your sticker on your mailbox meant that which FEMA camp you were going to when the government went martial law and dragged everybody out of the houses. And I was just like, whoa, this is like way out there. You know, when you used to go down that rabbit hole before YouTube put the conspiracy block on their videos, and you go down the rabbit hole and you start with something like innocuous or today's news, and then end up down this rabbit hole where the aliens are coming and do a cradle on it. That person hasn't been using Chris Watts as a model. No. I don't think Chris Watts is a model anything, is he? I'm hoping somebody heard what I wrote this morning when they were saying he's got demons in him, and I'm like, the only demon he's had him is a 6 foot tall bloke called Kevin in the shower. Does anybody want to come on and have a chat about crimey things? I'm happy to pop the link up straight to Zoom, so it'll bring you straight in. Let me know. A lot of pressure on little old me to talk for a long time because I'm so quiet. I want to take a ride down the rabbit. Yep. Lots of rabbit holes, and that whole conspiracy thing on YouTube used to end up a horny demon. Yes. Used to find that I had like things about FEMA camps. That was quite a common one. I won't mention the September one because that's just woo. And the school shooters being made up. It's like, please. Doing a cradle, new lexicon in our culture. It will hop in after you order lunch. Lovely. What you're ordering for your lunch? Very good. I'm absolutely stuffed. Every Sunday I'm stuffed when I come on this camera. Oh, thank you. It's just lots of foundation, Carol, but thank you. I'll take the compliment. I'll behave myself. His so-called package, yeah. You went down those crazy YouTube rabbit holes before. They are way out there. They really are. And like people just talk about sort of subjective bias, like confirmation bias. Like, oh, I had sugar in my coffee today by accident. That must mean that the aliens are coming. That's how like far-reached these things are. And I'm like, whoa, mate. You know, I thought I was crazy, but it's like, don't be opening or touching anything hot. You know, it's those kind of people that we need those signs on coffee that say hot, warning, hot. No, really. And like, you know, I actually saw a box of eggs once that said contains eggs on the front, and I kind of despaired for the world we live in. Packets of nuts that say contain nuts. The world is nuts. It's quite weird considering the official count on Bundy was 30 people. Do you think it is to do with persona and being charismatic or not, media-wise? I think it may be that if they were to report on Samuel, there might be some kickback on saying they were focusing on him because of his race. I don't know. But a murderer is a murderer. Like anybody else is anybody else. You are what you are. To me, although interesting and important from a cultural standpoint, you need to know these things about people. If you've murdered people, it's worthy of study because we need to find out why you did that so we can help to stop it happening again, to build proper profiles. Yeah, Chris Watts is kiss up to murderer, tell him he didn't do it and God loves him and you're away. Yeah, those pesky demons. Most of his victims were black females, weren't they? Unfortunately, black people still used to be argued still slated as victims. Yes. And I think the stronger thing there, J Bells, is that they were, bless them, often drug addicts, prostitutes, street wanderers, for want of a better term, people who had lost their way in life and were addicted and needed money. And these people aren't treated with the same reverence as everybody else, like other victims, but a life is a life. And I think once we start to recognise that, we're getting better at it as a society, but lots of people have got away with murdering a lot of women of the night because they weren't thought of as a proper victim. Which is shameful, really, because it doesn't matter where you've ended up in life or what cards you've been dealt or how you make your living, you don't deserve to die. And I think these people are not disposable and have been thought to be disposable for a long time. Right to him, eh? I shouldn't I? Maybe they meant the other sort of nuts. Maybe. You have another meeting in progress. Do I? Hang on, give us 2 seconds. Try that one. That should work because that's the one I'm actually in. Similar victims to the murderer in my city that I live in, Robert Picton. Yeah. It's because they're high risk, whether they're low risk victims for a serial killer. Hello. Hello, lovely lady.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Fine. I have to find where that window went now. Let's see.
I have not spoken to you for hours and hours. It's been.
I know.
Yeah. I know. So these guys were rocking it last night. We had a nice long chat, and then I had to go to bed because I'm old. Then I think you went live after that, didn't you?
I did. My buddy got home, and we did go live. We were goofing around in the game.
Good. Yeah, it was good. So, what do you think of Samuel then?
I think it's quite amazing that he is so nonchalant when he talks about the women, the crimes, and just like I went down to the store and picked up a loaf of bread. I mean, how do you do that? Hang on a second. What? No. And I was actually watching. Piers Morgan did on Netflix. I saw that he did a couple of. I don't remember what the name of the show is. It was.
I think where he interviewed people in prison.
Three. Yeah, there was 3 of them. Mm-hmm. There were 3 episodes, and I just finished the 3rd one this morning. And so you watch those guys, and they're all, "Oh no, it wasn't me. The police are framing me." Oh, that kind of stuff. Which that happens a lot. But this Samuel guy, no, he's all like, "Oh yeah," and they ask him, what happened or where he was, and he's just like, "Oh, just like, oh, I went to my kid's birthday party," and
like a fond memory,
right? And I thought, oh my gosh, he is, and is it, was he worse like when he was younger?
It doesn't seem that way. I have to be honest, having seen pictures of him when he's younger, he had the same gentle face. How he has that gentle face and those sparkly eyes, and he's charismatic, and he was the same when he was younger. And if that's the case, these girls wouldn't have stood a chance, because you're on your uppers, you're drug addicted, you're obviously in a rough place in life, and then somebody shows you a kindness.
Right.
What chance do you have against that?
Well, that's just it. I mean, maybe because he would be so approachable and so kind, it would be very easy for him to commit, a bunch of murders. It's phenomenal that he's committed so many and we're not hearing about it. Like, there's not books coming out. It doesn't seem like anybody's studying him, which surprises me because, like, that's like the guy next door. All of a sudden you find out, oh, he's got 100 dead bodies buried in his backyard.
Yeah.
It's like, how does that happen? And
Leaping Lizard said, and rightly so, he was a good looking young man as well. He was an attractive young man. So we've got the package there. He's warm, he's friendly, he's kind, he's not treating you like you're a second class citizen. He's attractive. Right. So I don't disagree that his body count could be that high, because obviously a lot of these girls are going to be like, oh my goodness, somebody's treating me right, and then he killed them, which is just extra tragic.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, it would be amazing enough that he remembers the details of, 50 of these crimes. But, I mean, we all forget stuff. I mean, we think we remember everything and we forget stuff. So, I mean, there's no telling what might have been forgotten.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, they're saying that his memory's gone, and that's why they're putting these confessions out now. So that maybe somebody will remember these girls and or women and come forward. Because, I mean, there was one he started talking about, he's going, oh, I loved her. And he describes her as having gaps between her teeth, and she was a big girl. He describes one girl as having dishwater blonde hair. And that's just, to me, that's quite a natural description of somebody. It doesn't seem forced or... so it does. It's an awful thing that he's got all those other victims, but I would really like to see them identified before he pops his clogs. Right. For the families, because somewhere those girls will be missing by some people. They'll be missed. Right. But because they've lived that kind of lifestyle, they've maybe just assumed that they've wandered off and gone to live with somebody else or somewhere else. So.
Well, yeah, I was kind of creepy when you listened to him talking about that poor girl with the buck teeth. Like, he was like, he was kind of smiling, and I was like, ooh, like, gosh, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, like, it'd be like she was the one that got away, like the sexy ex. When he had like right. Fond memories of her. That was how he was talking about her, and I'm like, you murdered the woman, yes?
Right. There's some disconnect in his brain. There has to be, because, I mean, it would be, he comes across speaking about these murders, kind of like you and I having a conversation. Yeah. Like it's just the norm of the day and not a big deal. And,
Carol Lucy says, I need to pull a cradle and write to Samuel.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Not false confessions like that. Or Chris Watts. We'll get false confessions off Chris Watts as well. But I think he's genuine, Samuel, or he appears to be. It's just, I'm just going on instinct.
He has nothing to gain at this point.
No.
I mean, he's old. He's, he's going to die in jail. He has to, be resolved to that at this point. Mm-hmm. He has nothing to gain by confessing to things that he didn't do.
No. He doesn't, and I don't know whether the FBI have reasoned with him. Let's see if we can find these girls and get this done before you go. He seems like he would be agreeable to that, even if he didn't mean it, because he's had this affable, friendly, warm personality for so long. Right. It is obviously not genuine.
Right.
He's probably just gone along with it, but it's really strange. He's just so nice.
Well, I mean, maybe there is just literally a disconnect in his brain. Maybe he thinks he's really nice, and then, maybe he is really nice up until he doesn't get what he wants, and then, like, this demon comes out, and then...
Oh, don't mention demons.
Well, you know what I mean.
No, we're just with the bots and the demons and the... Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Just, the demons did it. Shut up, Christopher. No, they didn't. Take a slap to the brow.
You have to forgive me. I just was watching, there was a new season of Haunting on Netflix that I was watching, and the episode I just watched was these ladies worked in this nursing home, and this lady was brought in, and they didn't think she had dementia because it was like mostly was dementia patients, and no, she was possessed, and yeah, so
as you do.
So that's probably why the word demon came out. But I mean, maybe it's like a switch with him. Maybe he's got such a disconnect in the brain that he is a nice guy until he doesn't get what he wants.
It could be. We don't have enough detail about him yet, unfortunately. I'm hoping we will get it eventually, so we can understand what actually went on there. Because the way he's talking on there, like, he just looks like a handyman, like the friendly handyman. It's like
he's like the grandpa next door sitting there telling you a story.
Yep.
And unfortunately, he's telling you about how he murdered these women.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like he's just telling you, like he's like telling you an old poker story or a what they used to do when he was a kid, and it's just bizarre. So, but yes, he's really interesting, and I'm hoping we'll hear more about him because he's interesting, and I'd like to see more attention paid to the case, because there's only a couple of reasons I can think of that have been covered in the chat today, where we're thinking it's either because of the victims and who they were, or because of who he was, or both, and either aren't really acceptable. It's 2019, so we need to treat people equally in all ways, shapes and forms, and in all studies as well, because we'll miss out on stuff if we don't.
Well, they kind of need to, when people are murdering people, that many people, I mean, obviously they need to study and figure out what was the trigger, or what caused that, or did they have some sort of mental illness, and mm-hmm. and things to look for in people, so that those things can be treated before they get to the point where they've murdered 50 people.
This is precisely it. I mean, look at people like people like Bundy, people like Samuel, who seem perfectly affable, even gentlemanly, and are serial killers and do the most horrendous things. And what signs do these people have in common? Obviously, we can't pigeonhole people because everybody's different, but we can look at common factors, and if we stop studying, we won't find more common factors. So, and the more we look at it, unfortunately, we have to wait for more people to die before we can do more research, but these people have already passed away. Let's do as much investigation as we can to get as much information as we can.
Right.
So, let's have a look at what's going on in the chat.
Leaping Liz said he has a good personality, was good looking, was very well built, easy to lure those girls in. Yeah. But Bundy was the same way.
Mm-hmm. What's Fed was fed every single story from YouTube and went along with everyone's conspiracies. Yes, he did. That's a good point. People prey upon those who are looking to escape bad home life, runaways, etc. Maybe no one was looking for them, demanding answers. Yeah, and it's sad, isn't it? But we've all seen this when people go missing, specifically little boys or girls, and the different reactions between when a little girl or boy goes missing from a white family or an African American family. And there is a difference in the way those cases are handled. I will let other people do their research on that because I've read up on it, but it's an interesting way to look at it. Probably an example of it is one of the cases that was actually mentioned in Mindhunter with, which part of the country was it? It's gone. You know how I said I can remember everything from when I was 14? It's gone. And it's a really huge case as well. Lots of African American children were going missing. And I think the killer was Williams. Somebody will think of it before I manage to look it up. Oh, before I've even looked at Atlanta, the Atlanta child killings.
Mm-hmm.
See, that was because I opened Google. So as soon as I opened Google, I remembered it.
It's like sometimes when you go and say, "Oh, do you remember?" And then you go, "Oh, yes, now I do. I remember what I was just thinking of trying to think of."
It's something like your brain resets. Like if that's why they say that thing about you walking through a door.
Right.
You know, when you walk into another room, you think, what did I come in here for? Because your brain thinks it's going into another room, so it's thinking, I need to do a different thing. So it doesn't carry the memory. I'm like, just stop that. Just remember what I tell you to remember, will you?
Right.
Yeah, Atlanta,
Right.
Georgia, that a lot of children went missing, and that wasn't investigated adequately at all. Early doors,
Right.
in my opinion.
I watched something. I'm trying to think if I watched something on Netflix about that. I believe I did. Netflix or Hulu or something. I saw
You might
something
well have
about
done.
that.
I mean, there was a movie made about it, but he was. That's it. Thank you, J Bells. He was a very affable gentleman as well. Worked with children.
Well, you know, a lot of so there have been serial killers that have like targeted, for instance, you know, prostitutes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why did they, you know, why would they target only prostitutes? Well, because they don't think that people are going to go looking for them quickly, because usually prostitutes are, you know, addicted to drugs, and, you know, they don't have good families, because otherwise why would they be in that profession? And, you know, that so they target those people, or homeless people, only because they don't expect people are going to go looking for them quickly. And
Yeah, and it's a
that's
horrible
sad.
thing because
Well, and then right, and people and the police don't want to invest, because, you know, they kind of figure, oh, they just kind of took the trash out, you know, for us,
it's
unfortunately.
horrendous. Yes,
And that's not the way that it should be looked at.
it isn't, and I completely agree. I mean, the world seems to take. It seems to take 2 steps forward sometimes and 3 steps back. And it's frustrating when it comes to equality, and I say that as somebody who was born into privilege because of the colour of my skin, and I accept that. So it's frustrating for me. So what it must be like for anybody who's African American, and they see these things all the time. Or you're born into a rough family and you're living on the streets and you're a prostitute, because that's how your life has ended up, and you possibly got children, you're earning money to take back to your kids, you know. It's just there but for the grace. It could be any one of us, but we've just been born into a different set of circumstances, and where life went a certain way, we made different choices, because we all make bad choices. Not to the extent of murder,
Right.
just to make that clear. But we all make bad choices through our lives, and sometimes we think, "Oh, thank God I got away with that. Thank God that didn't finish me off, because that was a
Right.
stupid thing to do." And then you
Right.
learn from that mistake and you move forward. But sometimes when you make those mistakes, you make a few in a row, and that's just the end of your future life path and your promise.
Right.
And you've just got to make do after that, and then you just exist. And because people are like that, and they're in what we call a different socioeconomic group, they shouldn't be valued any less, and it's a shame. I mean, we started with, do you want to go all the way back to Jack the Ripper?
Well, you know, everybody's a human being, and everybody's life is important. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're contributing. I mean, you know, nobody deserves being murdered.
No.
Nobody, you know, it's one thing if somebody, you know, chose to. That's a choice. They chose to take their own life. That's a choice.
Yeah.
You don't choose. Oh, I want somebody to come by and murder me. I mean, there are some people that, you know, try to force the hand of the police to shoot them and kill them after they've committed a bunch of crimes. But for the most part, murder victims are not sitting there going, "Oh, I'm here waiting for you to come get me." You know,
oh, chase me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
Point. And she said we're all a few paychecks away from being in those circumstances, and she's right. If you've got nothing else, you're selling your body. Either that, or you're just fading away.
Or you're stealing.
Or you're stealing, yes. And what
you're going to be committing a crime no matter what. If you become down and out, and you know you have to live, you have to have a place to stay, you have to, you know, find a place to stay, you have to have clothes, because you can't walk around without clothes. They'll throw you in jail, although then you'll have food and shelter,
ironically,
clothing.
Yeah.
But and there are homeless people that will, you know, commit thefts. I know it happens. They commit thefts, so that they can go to jail, so that they do have food and a place to sleep and a place to go to the bathroom. Because, I mean, it gets really cold here in the wintertime, and they're, honest to goodness, they're better off in jail.
I think that's why a lot of people
sleep.
take drugs and drink alcohol on the street, because it must keep the cold out. You know yourself,
Right.
if you've ever been, I'll talk to my fellow drinkers here, Kim. You're like, if you're out for a drink and you're wearing your posh Christmas frock because you're at the Christmas party and you're having a drink. After about 3 or 4 drinks, you don't feel the cold anymore. So you're just walking around the freezing cold city centre in your little dress, and you don't feel it. And I can't help but think that's why people turn to drugs and alcohol, because they're not focusing on the cold, because it must be torturous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Um, it has to be horrible to be out in the cold when you don't have a place to stay.
Yeah, Carol Lucy's just mentioned a case today where there was a black woman shot dead in her home today on the news. Was she shot by a police officer, Carol? Is that the same case? Says this is bizarre, because this is a whole different Amber Geiger switcheroony. If it's the same one, because she was shot by a male police officer in her own home. So I'll have to see what happened with that case. I know Evie had shared it earlier, but I'd not had the chance to read it yet. But it'll be interesting to see how that case is different.
Where did that happen?
Let's have a look. Do you know where it was, Carol? Yes, it's the same case. Give us 2 seconds. I'll see if I can find it. And then I'll give us a read.
Carol Lucy does say the police in America are savage. Well, there's a couple of problems going on, and I think I am going to speak based on what's going on here where I live in this city. It's not a huge. I mean, St. Louis is a big city, but it's not a huge city. Like, we don't have 1 million people in the city limits here, but
Fort Worth.
I do know that we require Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a read of it once you're finished with your piece, because
Okay.
I know you want to say something.
So we force our policemen to live within the city limits. I think that's the first problem we have here, but we also don't pay them enough. So there is not a one police officer, on the ground police officer, not like a detective or whatever, but a regular police officer, patrol officer, that makes enough money to support his or her family, on their salary alone. So they all work secondary jobs. They're all working security somewhere or something, to earn enough money to live. And because of those 2 factors, they're having problems getting, police in the police department here. One, nobody wants to live in the city here because there's a lot of crime. There's a lot of gang activity. There's a lot of drug activity. And so they don't want to live in the city and raise their kids here. And so I think that a lot of the reason we're having problems with the police the way we do here, in certain areas anyway, is due to the fact that, they're not paying them enough. They're going out there risking their lives every day. They can't even earn a living with just that job for their family.
Yeah.
And so I think the quality of the people that they're hiring to the police department is they can't be as picky. I don't think they can be as picky, because you have to have police. Otherwise, we'd be in worse shape than what we are.
Yeah. This is it. I mean, we're a bit freezy at the minute, but I think people can still hear the voices. Because I opened a browser window, so of course everything had a hissy fit.
It went crazy.
Yeah, because I haven't got I need to move my videos off my PC into an external storage.
Oh, I gotcha.
Because the amount of videos I've got saved now is starting to clog up my memory. So it was Etania, her name was, and she was shot and killed a 28-year-old in our own home. I'm just going to read it because I'm hoping people can still hear us. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to check. Yeah, they can still hear us because they're reacting to what we're saying, so that's good. Right, so let me just read through this and then I'll close the browser down and hopefully the buffering or the freezing will stop. Okay, it's all on body camera. So that's something. Fort Worth,
Right.
Texas. Police officer shot and killed a 28-year-old woman inside her home early Saturday morning after police were called to the residence for a welfare check. That escalated quickly, didn't it?
Golly. She was fine and then became not fine.
Yes. No, she's not dead yet. No, I'm just... Dear me. A neighbour called the police department's non-emergency number after he noted the doors were open and the lights were on. Police responded to the home in the 1200 block of East, or the 1200 block of East Allen Avenue around 2:20 a.m. The Tarrant County Medical Examiner identified the woman as Tatiana Kokichi, I think it is, or Kokwisi Jefferson. She was pronounced dead at the scene. In body camera video released by police, 2 officers searched the home from the outside with flashlights before one shouts, "Put your hands up, show me your hands." One shot is then fired through a window. Relatives said she was watching a nephew at the house. Vanita Body and Ann said that Jefferson was a college graduate with a good job. She would never have been a threat to anyone. This is why this is so hard to conceive. Officers responded to the call from witness James Smith, who said he used a non-emergency number, blah, 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 basically repeating it. They had no reason to come with guns drawn. In the video, the officer is seen walking around the exterior of the home, shining a flashlight on the walls and windows of the property. He then stops, points his flashlight at a window and draws his gun after seeing a person watching him from inside. The officer appears to fire once at the window before the video cuts to black. The officer is not heard speaking to anyone at the house before that moment at the window. All they had to do was announce who they were, and if she heard them, she would probably come to the door to see who they were.
It looks like the video they've released the video. So if you go to the Fort Worth Star Telegram newspaper and search for that, it looks like because it says here, Fort Worth, Texas police released body cam video Saturday, October 12th after a white officer shot and killed a black woman. And there's a play button here. It does give you an editor's note that says the following video contains graphic content. So
right, have you got the link to that video, Kim?
Yeah, I have the link to the news article.
I think that's the one I was looking at, but obviously me computer's not liking. Let's have a look. Hiya, Carolyn. Sorry, didn't realise you were in. I was busy reading. Hello. Hi, what is this channel about? It's about mushrooms and pineapples and things that go bump in the night. Right, where's me Facebook? Or me Farspook, as I like to call it. So, I'm trying to think.
Do you have Discord on your computer?
No.
I can send you the link.
Well, I have, but I'm not signed into it yet because I forgot my login details. And I didn't want to change them last night because we were talking. So basically, guys, if you Google it, you'll be able to find it. So Fort Worth shooting, 28 years old, police officer shooting, body cam, any of that or all of that. If you put that into Google, it will find the video for you. What I'll do is I'll have a look
I'll copy and paste the name of this this newspaper if I can.
It's actually that article's in my Facebook group as well, the Casbats group.
Okay.
So I just didn't dare press the video because it.
No. We don't want to play it on YouTube. But anybody who decides they want to see it, it is there.
I don't mind putting news articles on because they tend to be free press kind of thing.
Right.
But
right.
My video is having a hissy fit because I've got another browser open. Never mind playing a video. Cop went round the back, saw her shadow in the window, and he just shot her. Hi, Evie, welcome back. She had our Yorkshire pudding. Very nice. Yeah, we're talking. Thank you for posting the link, by the way, Evie. So yeah, 28 years old, life taken. She was watching her nephew. A neighbour had phoned in a welfare check. The police went to the house. They didn't announce themselves. They did say, put your hands up, and then shot her through the window. And that's it.
You have to wonder why in the world they needed to shoot somebody through the window. I mean,
when you can't verify who they are, and you haven't said police, It's worry. It's just mind-boggling. Like you go for a welfare check. So what you're concerned about is somebody has been hurt.
And so you're going to go in there with guns blazing. Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
I thought usually they, check the door. I mean, maybe that was, I don't know.
Lieben Lizard, that's awful. She says there's a case in Pennsylvania of a 4-year-old, the 4-year-old 8 years old found in the basement. Was that a 4-year-old and an 8 years old child?
Oh, no.
In the basement. Oh, that's horrendous. It's in Texas again. Yikes, says Debbie Loving Vapes. Yeah.
Well, Texas is very large. Texas, in defense of Texas, Texas is extremely large. So there, are a lot of people there.
So what's Carolyn giving Bella Mark? I'm just missing out on the chat here. I'm nosy. Let's just go to Bella Mark. I've had withdrawal symptoms. Oh, dolls. Oh, God, dolls. Ugh.
So Carol Lucy says, trigger happy cops. I have to say there is a part of me that feels some sympathy for the cops, and that not in necessarily this particular instance, but they're out there. And I mean, if I was a police officer in the city where I live, I would be scared to death of just making a traffic stop. Just because there are so many, people with guns out there, and we've had so many. I mean, we've literally had police officers pull somebody over, like they're not doing anything. They're just walking up to ask the people for their driver's license and information and to tell them why they pulled them over. Mm-hmm. And the person in the car has a gun and shoots them dead right there. It's to me, it's probably just as scary to be a police officer as it is to be a person trying to call the police to get help.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, because to me, it suggests a fundamental problem. So if you have a place of work, ordinarily, if it's your private sector place of work,
right,
and your employee does something wrong, the blame for that should go to the person who has the employee, because they should make sure that the employee has all the capabilities, training and experience, and also the character to be able to do that job correctly. So
right, and they also have the power to get rid of that person if they don't. So they have repercussions that can happen if you don't do your job properly.
This is right. So the responsibility falls on the PD. Unfortunately,
I agree.
In my mind,
I agree.
Because they are trained, not cowboys. Exactly, Bella Mac. So why, Kaz, I brought her some of my dolls she loves so much. Yeah, you can keep your dolls. Love you, but not your dolls. Don't make me get the skulls out. She says the skulls trigger her. I think of the dolls between her dolls and my skulls. We've got like a proper creep fest going on. So, but yeah, with the I can say to me the police. Sorry, off wing. The police department, the PDs need to be responsible for what they're doing.
I agree. I think there are a lot of complaints filed against police officers that don't go anywhere because they kind of have this.
Sweep it under the
brotherhood.
carpet.
Do I?
Sweep it under the carpet.
Right. They kind of have this brotherhood about them that, hi, Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Cavanos is with us. So it's a strange one because to me, I think if the government fined PDs for wrongdoing, not just a civil suit taken by the person who was wronged or the family of the person who was wronged, but if they were automatically fined for misconduct of an officer and then they were regulated. I know this comes at an extra cost, but I think lives are worth more than money. I agree. So and I think most people do. And I think they need to be regulated, because if they were, then there'd be consequences, and there would be. I know they've got internal affairs, but is that?
That's another one of those, though. Sometimes that works, and sometimes that doesn't. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, if the internal affairs comes from within your own group of people, I mean, honest to goodness, you almost have to have an outside source, looking into what's going on.
That's it, like somebody who's neutral, and it's difficult to do, but it's
kind of mediation.
That's right. That would be better. Carolyn, the wicked woman, she says, I'm thinking about flying one down to her as an unaccompanied minor, so she would have to collect her from the airport.
I can only imagine the people on the airplane.
This little doll. Went to the air stewardess, would you like any peanuts?
Would you like a drink? Right.
She's not responding. Is there a doctor on board?
We need to check her pulse.
Yeah. Oh no! So, does anybody know CPR? She's got no mouth.
Seaglass and Shell said, continual training, but wonder if lack of public funding is having an effect in a negative way. Lots of tax measures get defeated, so some places are struggling. I probably do agree with that. Although I know here, every time anything comes up for the police department or the emergency, it gets voted here. It gets passed. So maybe it's misappropriation of funds. I don't know, but something certainly needs to happen.
Money in the wrong pockets. Since we're talking about dolls.
You have a doll?
No, I don't have a doll, but I do have something extremely creepy. Other than just me.
Oh, a Mardi Gras face.
That's on my wall.
Nice.
It's like a jester's stick.
I don't really find that creepy.
See, I do. But I've still got it on the wall. Bizarre. I'll hang it back up when I'm on my feet. So I don't want to put my big bum in there. And that's me. My little headdress. Okay, it will be great. Like, she's going on a trip abroad. She is excited to meet you. Oh my god. Is she going to be like talking Tina?
Well, Bella Max said, perfect, Carolyn. Just make sure she's here by November 5th. So she's got a deadline. She wants the doll there by.
I know why she wants it there by November 5th. Do you know what November 5th is in the UK?
No.
Bonfire night. Guy Fawkes night. So Guy Fawkes blew up the Houses of Parliament.
Oh.
And since then, for some reason, we celebrate this. And we have bonfires.
Like a people rebelling thing?
And we set off fireworks. It's like the 4th of July, but for Guy Fawkes, kind of, but not as important, because Independence Day is right up there.
Right.
But lots of people setting off fireworks, setting bunny, and we'll make guys for our bonfires. So we'll make like a bloke to burn on the bonfire. Even when I'm saying this out loud, it's so twisted. And they burn them on the bonfire, and I'm a bit worried that Bella Mac is planning to introduce the doll to the bonfire.
That's what I was wondering as you were saying that.
Yeah. I'm a bit worried about like this doll just like melt. Like the last scene, like that scene in Indiana Jones, you know, where his face melts off. Doll just. Bless. So wait, I don't collect dolls, but I do collect dust.
I think we all collect dust.
I think we all do.
I don't think we have a choice in that matter.
No. And we give dust out and we receive it back. That's
right.
Just how life is, isn't it? So
Pretty
Licky
much.
said, I'm in good company, but then symbolically belongs to Sharon. I think we're talking about cats as well. Bye, Seaglass. Thanks for popping in, sweetheart. Your niece stood over you with one of those masks until she woke up and she literally shot herself. But this one is just a tiny one. It's just a little one. I look like a shrunken head.
I have one that you can actually wear that is in my cube at work that my previous boss bought me when she went to New Orleans.
I'll put this one on. This one's a bit better.
Oh, yes, the unicorn.
I always love this one.
It looks nice and warm, too.
It is. It's lovely. Just the thing for this weather. But, you know, wearing it outside's a whole different kettle of fish. But I wouldn't put it past me. I like the hair. I want my actual hair to do this. Look at that. That's fabulous.
Yeah, that's great.
I feel like something from Adventure Time. Bella Mac says, you got me busted. See, Carolyn doesn't think that. No. Leaving the cobwebs now for Halloween, yes. If only if Bella is mean to her. No. It's like, right. But yeah, I think she should make this doll might come out of the fire. Like, come out of the fire, still, like, just, like, dragging itself by one arm.
Or what if it just, like, flopped out of the fire? That would probably scare everybody.
Flopped out and it just, like, starts dragging itself by one arm across the floor. Like, and then reaches out for Bella Mac. Nightmares for weeks! Oh, I missed me calling. I went to Flying Tiger and heard it. I can't read. Bella Mac, you were so right about the crafting. Oh, there's a Flying Tiger as a shop. I've not gone in there because I'll spend too much money. It's very fetching, isn't it? Yes. Use glitter too, Mandy. Mandy. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of the chat, Kim. I do apologise.
No, you're fine.
We were on a cruise and had been in Venice the day prior. Do you know what it's like to be fast asleep? Slowly open your eyes and see that. Stop, Cash. She has feelings because I'm talking about the doll. I'm sorry, doll.
Oh my gosh, Evie Scorpio says like Chucky.
Go to the pound shop and get that hat and a tape it for us. Go to the pound shop in that hat and tape it for us. I'll do that. I could do that. I would fit in nicely in the pound shop with that hat on. It's like nobody would bat an eyelid. Oh my God, like Children of the Corn wig, in fact. Children of the Corn, like the one of us. Yeah, the Children of the Corn, but like a load of dolls.
All right, well, my lunch is here, so okay. I am going to head out.
No worries at all. You take care. Thank you very much for joining us, Kim. It was a joy to talk to you, as always.
Thank you for having me.
Catch you later, sweetheart.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, I am going to throw the link out there. It is the direct link to the meeting if anybody else wants to come on and chat. You talk about whatever you like. Dolls, pineapples. Like Chucky. Yes. Oh good, J-Bells. We'll be hooked now. Flying Tiger. I've been told not to go in there because I'll just spend loads of money that I don't have. So, because somebody had went, it's told me it's my kind of shop. I'll stick to the pound shop. And pyjamas, Mandy. I'm not sure about the pyjamas, but I'll see what I can do. That's how you have to dress at the pound shop. It's mandatory. I thought that was Tesco or Asda, where you've got to wear your pyjama bottoms. You have a huge collection of tune of masks, Venetian, African, Philippine, until the cats went on a rampage. Oh dear. So you had like I like African masks, like the big wooden carved ones. I like those. Yes, Kim is off. I have put the Zoom link in. If anybody else wants to join me for a natter, feel free to give us a call. And I shall let you in, depending on who you are, of course. I'm gonna have nightmares about dolls now. Dolls and fires. Oh, no, you're not well, are you, Bella Mac? Bless your cottons. Everybody's got the lurgy. Yes, enjoy your lunch, Kim. Have a nice one, and I'll see you later, darling. I must check out later. So I need to go to the pound shop in my pyjamas with my unicorn mask on. Is that about my unicorn hat on? Is that about how it goes out? Is that what we want then? Is that what passes for entertainment these days? If she's feeling crook, she'll not want to phone in. That's fine. Nobody has to. It's just in case anybody wanted to phone in. It's a nice little crowd in the room, so it's quite a comfy place to be. I like it. So has anybody else got anything else to tell me, or anything to report, or etc.? Yes, Sakura Girl, always enjoy having White Tiger with us. Do check out our live streams if you get the chance. Leaping Lizard has another video out today. Carolyn has an awesome live. Again. Just a regular Tuesday. And if you do it on the 31st, it's probably cheating. The pound shop. Do I watch The Walking Dead? I did until it got rubbish, and then I stopped watching it. It was great, and then it just went. Oh, we're talking about Asda, or Tesco, or Flying Tiger. Hey, Too Scooter Chick. How's it hanging? There was a doll called Cindy, not Cindy. Yeah, what Cindy dolls had? Cindy had an S. That was our equivalent of a Barbie doll, wasn't it? Cindy with an S. She wasn't quite as tall as Barbie, but she still had pointy feet. Yeah, it was amazeballs as usual. Carolyn is on fire recently. I'm loving Carolyn's lives. I like feisty Carolyn. It was a very long live, and there was other things as well that we did. We were painting houses and Did you hear any more on the mother and brother who killed their two boys up your way? UK courts put the kibosh on the media. No, we've got the kibosh on the media, basically. There's a couple of really horrendous crimes that have gone on very close to me recently. Evie will know about them. There was a solicitor stabbed just where I travel to and from work with a screwdriver that was stolen from the pound shop, oddly, by a 17-year-old who was being tried as an adult, I think. Basically a feral child that had just grown up and was a bit of a waster and just happened to bump into this gentleman. All right, that's okay, Carolyn. I know you would. There's always going to be another time, hopefully, God willing. So I don't remember Cindy with a C. I remember Cindy with an S. So anyway, there was that one where this gentleman passed away, and recently there was an awful crime in somewhere called Wallsend, which is called Wallsend because of its location to Hadrian's Wall. For anybody who knows anything about history, where the Romans built that long wall to try and keep the northern people out, like further north, but failed miserably. So, and that was a terrible event where a young man stabbed his girlfriend and his tiny little baby, and sadly the baby recently passed away, and he has been charged. So that was just really tragic. When I get some more details I might cover it, but it's very difficult to cover recent true crime in the UK because there's not the freedom of information that there is elsewhere, and because what happens is that the lawyers argue that it will affect the trial, and that is a valid argument here. So it's more important to get justice, and then we have to report after the fact rather than during. You're just waking up too, Scooter. There's no actual media in the UK anymore. They don't report anything. They do, but they don't at the same time. You had a Cynthia doll and she talked. Oh, Carolyn. My name is Cynthia. She was larger than a Barbie but skinny. I wish I was the same proportions as a Barbie doll. I would have no problem getting stuff off the top shelf, would I? If I was 8 foot tall, I might be still fat. But less fat. Said things like, we could have a sleepover, wouldn't that be fun? Oh. Just waiting to get voicemails from Carolyn's talking doll. Halloween is coming up. Hadrian's Wall, not to be confused with Adrian's Wall. Yeah. So, but yes, Hadrian's Wall is, I'm hoping to have a wander there someday to sort of show you, but basically it's just a pile of rocks. The history behind it is good, so that would be fun, but the what is left is basically just a short wall of rocks. Like Rugrats, yes. Yes! Oh my god, memory break. Yeah, like Rugrats is Angelica's Cynthia doll, the one that she had like hair there and there and there, didn't she? And she had bald patches in between. I've still got my daughter's giant Barbie. I have her hidden in the coal house behind a very large painting of her. Ooh, that keeps me in suspense. Sleepover being code for I'm killing you in your sleep, yeah. Oh, Ireland's really pretty. Morning, Mrs. Roger Rabbit. It's been ages since I spoke to you. How are you? Right. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot to Little Toot. Only the ones who don't like dolls, Bella. Oh God, I've had it. No, I love dolls. I really, really love dolls. Dolls are my favourite thing in the whole world ever. Please don't kill me in my sleep. Right, guys, I am going to leave that there. Thank you very, very much for joining us, all of us. Thank you to all of our mods. Thank you to everybody for being here. You are all lovely, and it's been really fun chatting to you and watching the banter. I love it. I will be back soon. I'm hoping to keep my hand in. If you notice me go missing, do give me a nudge, because I might need that. Just like so I don't disappear off the face of the earth. And I will be back soon. So I'm going to look into some stuff. I have a new video coming out this week. I'm not telling you what on. You'll have to wait and see. But I've also got a very exciting announcement to make on the 20th. So really looking forward to that. There's some other stuff to come with it. And I have something special for this week as well, in addition to the video that I'm going to do. But more about that later. I'm going to keep you in suspenders. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Lots of love. Have a wonderful day. And, you know, please do stay safe and happy. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.